We've all got those parts of our house where the internet just won't go. Well, if you had wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity, you could worry less about dead spots. Because with wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity, you get fast speeds, reliable connection in every room, and power for all your devices even when everyone's online. That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi, only on the Xfinity 10G network. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary.
With threats to our nation waiting around every corner, adaptability is more important than ever. When conditions change without notice, quick strategic thinking is crucial. And with obstacles consistently impending, determination is essential in overcoming them. It's this willingness, decisiveness, and resilience that sets Marines apart. With our fighting spirit, we don't just fight battles, we win them. Marines are the constant our nation counts on to fight the unknown. And through adaptable problem solving, we do just that. Learn more at marines.com.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
This is Back on Track from Anything But Footy, speaking to the men and women targeting the Tokyo 2020 Olympics and Paralympics in 2021.
In this episode, we're speaking to a current Olympic champion and reigning world champion, Liam Heath. Liam is one of 5 canoeists already selected for the Games. That was announced before they were postponed by a year.
He won canoe sprint gold under the gaze of the famous Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio in the K1 200 metre, 4 years on from Ed McKeever's success in London.
We've got quite a few other medalists as well, and Olympians who've competed in the sport. So before me and before Ed, you had Tim Brabants and Ian Wynne, and you've got great success of reaching finals in the Olympic disciplines over sprint over the years. And it comes down to the coaching that you have and the relationship you have with the coach and building on good routines. So my career stretched between 2 coaches. I started off with Alex Nikonoroff and now with Eric Farrell, who coached Tim Brabants and Ian Wynne to their Olympic medals and their great achievements. So it's having that in place and being able to just to kind of replicate and build on what's worked before and almost disregard which hasn't, so you can kind of progress from year on year. We were very lucky with Alex back in 2010 when 200 meters was announced as an Olympic discipline, that we kind of hit the ground running, I suppose you could describe it as, on the international scene with the athletes we had, me, Johnny, Ed, and Ed Cox and a few others in the 200 meters, and we just kept that ball rolling, really developing on what worked and what didn't.
I'm really interested, Liam, that when you realise that hard work and that lifetime ambition and you become an Olympic gold medalist, what is the first thing that you think about or that you want to go and do? Because I can be pretty certain it wasn't being dragged over the road to the Flamengo Club to see the likes of John and I underneath the shadow of Christ the Redeemer to do a load of interviews. What is it you want to do when you've won that gold medal?
I suppose, initially you don't believe it and you kind of have to have that sink in a little bit. And I suppose for me, it was wanting to share that achievement with everyone who supported me through the training, through the blood, sweat and tears to get to that point. So for me, it was very much about seeing my friends, my family, my coach and everyone, the support team around me who had enabled me to train the way I did and prepare the way I did to perform, the way I did. So, that was the key thing that I wanted to do. And then after sinking in, it's then almost a thought about what to do next.
Do you then, after 2016, you're not going to get many better settings to win a gold medal. Do you then immediately think, I want to do this again? Did you at any point think, I've done it, it's time to do something different?
Yeah, so, across the line and I won the gold and stood on the podium, thoughts are, yes, I've done it. That's incredible. The thought wasn't going through my head, oh, I want to do it again. At that point in time, I knew I could go quicker. So my focus was on the following season in 2017, because I knew I had the potential to probably set one of the world's fastest times. So that was my key focus after arriving home from Rio, was to go out in the next season and set the world's fastest time, which I did. And then things changed quite a bit with the introduction into mine and my wife's life of our daughter Sarah Rose, which is world changing. And so 2018 was a bit more of a reflection year on where I wanted to go, whether I thought I could do it again, and how that might fit in with family life and the number one priority, which is our daughter. So yeah, that was a bit more of a reflection year. And then moving on to 2019 was kind of a taster to see if I could do it, and it went pretty well. So that's when the ambition for the Olympics started again, I guess, at the beginning, after the first World Cup in 2019, when you could see what the potential could be over the next couple of years, reignited that passion and motivation to try again for the Olympic Games.
So from an outsider's point of view, Liam, you kind of think, oh, it's the gold medals that drive you on. It's I want to do it. But actually, what you just said there, it's actually being better. That's what actually drives you on, being better and faster.
For me, I think it's quite a personal thing, and everyone has their own ambitions and their own motivations to do what they do. And for me, it's always been about trying to push myself to the limits to see how fast the boats can go, whether that was in K2, Johnny, or in K1, just to see what I'm physically possible or able to do in these boats. That has been a massive driving force. It's essentially through my entire career. And you always get off the water thinking, or I do anyway, thinking I could have gone faster or I could have done something a little bit better. So I suppose, like I guess many athletes out there, you're just searching for perfection. I suppose just searching for that perfect race. And ironically, that perfect race probably never doesn't exist or is never achievable, because you always are going to find fault in some aspect. But I guess you're trying to just get as close to that as possible.
You're listening to Anything But Footy's Back on Track, the interview series featuring athletes aiming for Tokyo 2020 in 2021. Sprint canoeist Liam Heath is our guest, and he's preparing for his third games later this summer. But obviously his preparation has been nothing like normal.
It's a bit tough, and everyone's in a bit of the unknown as well, because last year for me, it's a tick over year. I'm pretty sure for a lot of athletes out there, it was very much the same, because there were no competitions happening. So it's a little bit of the unknown. Having this a 5-year cycle rather than a 4-year cycle, it's just been stretched out a bit. So people kind of going to be coming out this year competing and not kind of knowing what to expect because of the preparations they've been able to put in place, and having the year off and not really knowing how that might affect them and their performances. So psychologically, it can be pretty tough. Physically, it's hard work, but your body's an engine, and if you just provide it with what it needs, it kind of can chug along. And it's the mind which kind of needs a little bit more focus. There's been a big thing about mental health and your state of mind, just to function in lockdown, just day to day. Put that on top of driving yourself in a training session by yourself at home is slightly different. So it's been tough, but I've got support around me, so it's good.
You mentioned the unknown. You were world champion in 2019. How on earth do you hold your form for 2 years?
Well, that's the funny thing. You don't really hold it at a level, like you don't hold your form at a world championship kind of performance for that entire year until the next year. You drop down and have recovery, and then you start building up again. And it's kind of going through that routine So when you drop down, it's into the kind of stasis that we had last year, where you're just ticking over. We've just elongated that process. Now we're starting to ramp it back up again, up to that peak performance again. I mean, no one can maintain that kind of that physical ability for years on end. It very much goes in cycle and training cycle. So you drop down, you let your body rest, recover, then you start building it back up again to peak. So it's not like you've maintained it, you've dropped down and you're building it up.
So you've got that August week in the diary. You're going to peak for Tokyo 2020 in 2021. What are your hopes going out there?
I want to go out there and be in the best place physically and mentally that I can be to race at the best level that I can. And that's the attitude I have when I approach any race, I suppose. It's just to go out there and lay down the best times and the best races that I can do. I don't look to hope for results because they are always they're out of your control to a certain extent. I mean, you can hope and dream for winning the medals, but you're not particularly in control. You're only in control of the way I see it. You're only in control of being able to push yourself to your limits and have the best race that you can. And that's, I guess, what I'm hoping to achieve when I head out to Tokyo.
Do you think the games will be different? And as someone that's been there and done it before, I guess for you, some of that mechanism around the games like village life and ceremonies, the fact that some of that sort of stuff might not happen. Do you have sympathy with those that are maybe only ever going to go to one games and won't get to experience that? And do you feel it will be a different kind of experience this time around for you because of the situation we're in?
Yeah, it's pretty clear and it's been laid out that it's going to be different. I mean, every games is different in their own wonderful way, I suppose. I mean, I've been at home games and then I've been at an away games, and this will be my second away games. And every country puts their stamp on it, and the pandemic that we're going through is definitely going to influence certain aspects of it. I mean, it's always quite restrictive and quite regimented when you go to an Olympic event, and it has to be so that it can actually run, but it's going to be even more so now, making sure that it's done in a safe way, not just for the people there competing, the athletes, the teams, but also for the Japanese people as well. I mean, you don't want to be bringing anything untoward into the country because they're hosting us. So the pandemic's going to definitely have an impact. I don't think the right word, I don't think sympathy for athletes who might be competing just at the one games is the right word. I mean, it's going to be an incredibly unique experience, but just to be able to call yourself an Olympian is pretty incredible. So to be able to compete, it's going to be one, that's going to go down in the history books for sure, because of everything that's gone on and taken place in the lead up to it. Really, really excited for it. And hoping all the athletes can make it there safely and in the best possible condition that they can be in.
And for you personally, it could be one of Sarah Rose's very first, earliest memories, couldn't it? Seeing Dad at the games?
Yeah, hopefully that's been a big driving force for me competing at this Olympic event. And it'd be great. I don't think the likelihood of her being there in the stands is going to be possible, but she's definitely going to have that stamped in her memory wherever she is.
Good luck to Liam Heath and British canoeing at the Games this July and August. This is Back on Track from Anything But Footy, the podcast series focusing on British stars aiming for Tokyo 2020 in 2021.
Sports Social Podcast Network. Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.